Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am bringing you my 3-month post-op VSG check-in, and for anybody who doesn't know, my name is Christine. I had VSG surgery, also known as the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, on April 21st, 2021, and if you're interested in knowing how I am doing, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so I wrote some notes down just so I can kind of stay on track. I am planning on making like a few separate videos because some of the subjects or like topics, I guess, that I'm going to be talking about today, I want to go into a little bit more detail, but I don't want this video to be like 30 minutes long, so I'm just going to jump straight into it. So I'm sure what most of you guys are probably curious about first and foremost is how much I've lost. So I am down 48.4 pounds. I am so happy with that. Now, it's been kind of a struggle. So I do want to talk about this just really quick. My weight loss has not been easy. It's been very slow. I'm not very consistent, and it's nothing like, that I'm doing wrong. It's like 1 week I'll lose 3 or 4 pounds, the next I'll gain a pound, or I'll just maintain that for like 2 weeks. And then I'll go back to having like another big loss. My nutritionist said it's normal, it's just your body adjusting, don't stress over it. And there's a lot of things that factor into obviously weight loss and things like that. So I, I don't know, I'm trying not to like stress too much about the scale because I just feel like that's not what defines me. It is a big part, obviously, of my journey, but I just don't want to get so caught up on a number because I've done that before and it's not good. And, I know there are people out there that have lost like 60 plus pounds at this point, and it is hard not to compare yourself because I feel sometimes like, oh, why aren't I at that point? But I also look at like, you know, I've had so many weeks where I haven't lost, and I've just kind of maintained and hit all these stalls that like it didn't allow my body that time to reach that point, where some of these other people were maybe losing consistently every single week, and that's obviously wonderful for them. So congratulations to anybody that does that. I don't think that there's really a number you should like define. Like at 3 month you should be like this many pounds down. So if you're kind of like me and just kind of wondering like, am I losing the right amount, am I like in the right spot, like just don't compare. I know that's easier said than done, but it's not worth it. And you should be proud of any amount that you've lost, even if it's only 20 pounds or 30. Like, I don't care the amount, just be proud. And it's not easy, regardless if you've had weight loss surgery or you're doing it on your own naturally. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, it's not easy. Point blank, period. And I think for a while, like, I've gotten very discouraged because I haven't really seen a lot of the changes. Like, I do see them when I do side by sides, but they're just not as drastic, I guess, as I was hoping for. Again, comparing myself to what I see like other people. When like I look at their side by sides, I'm like, wow, like that's so noticeable. And then I see mine, and I'm like, I don't see it. But again, it's just, I think where we're like, we are our own worst critics. And I guess like it's been hard because I want to just see like this drastic change, and I do carry my weight pretty evenly. My stomach does have like the most, like that's the biggest part of my body, but for the most part, like I do carry my weight pretty evenly. So even though I can see some of the changes, they're just not like, oh my god, look at that one area, like it's so small. Like, I don't know. That's probably just me, but anywho, moving on. That's kind of been my biggest struggle right now, is just I feel like I have to prove something to like my family or my friends who know that I've had this surgery. I feel like there's that guilty like I don't know, like it's hard to explain. I guess I just have this weird feeling like I have to look so different every time they see me, or else they're going to think I'm not doing good. Or I tell them, hey, I'm almost like 50 pounds down. And they're like, really? Like, I don't know. And I think that's all just in my mind, but I don't know. I'm just really hard on myself. And I guess my point with that is just be proud of how far you've come, because it's still a huge accomplishment no matter what. And although I really wanted to hit 50 pounds down by my 3-month mark, and I just missed it, it's really making me earn it. But, it's making me push that much harder because I want it that badly, and I think that's only helping me. So, the next thing I want to talk about is I've experienced 2 episodes in this whole entire 3-month time frame where I have had oh my gosh, I was gonna call it the floaties. Foamies is what it's called. It's basically when you eat too fast and the food basically regurgitates, and because your stomach doesn't produce the stomach acid, and things like that a typical person would just throw up. So your mouth essentially just makes a really nasty foam / saliva almost, and it's kind of like your way of throwing up. Not that you can't throw up, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm just that's just what I know about it. So I've had that happen twice, and it was not fun, and I did not want to ever experience it again. Again, only experienced it one other random time after that. And it's hard because you start eating more and you're like, oh, this is so good. And next thing you know, you've overeat. I've noticed I don't really have cues necessarily that I've caught on to, as far as some people say that when they get full, they start hiccuping, or they'll say that they have to burp a lot. I don't notice any of that. I notice I get really nauseous, and I start getting a tightness in my chest. Well, it's not really tight, but a fullness. It just kind of feels like the food just starts to sit right here, and it doesn't want to make its way down. It just kind of sits, and it's no, I'm just gonna hang out. And it's hard because I have to stop, but I just want to be oh no, I'm fine, I can keep going. And I'm trying to teach myself not to do that. So it's not easy, but it's getting easier every day. I'll say that much. But I do get nauseous if I do overeat, or I just get that fullness feeling where I just honestly go relax after dinner or lunch or whatever it is. Usually only happens around dinner time because that's my bigger meal. But if it does happen, I just kind of go relax for a few minutes and then I'm fine. Stalls, again, I kind of briefed about that in the beginning. I just kind of teeter-totter, and my weight just will go down and then just stay there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I go back to a loss. That happened for the first 2 months. Now I'm starting to lose more consistent. So that's at least good. This week, I only lost 0.4 pounds, but that's not normal. Typically, I'll either just maintain or I'll, lose a bigger number. But I'm at least losing consistently now, and it's usually around, 1.5 to 2+ pounds a week. It just kind of depends. But that's at least where my body's at. Again, don't compare yourself just because you're not maybe losing as much as everybody else. It's not worth it. It's not. And there's nothing wrong with you. Obviously, yes, if you are doing something wrong, consult your doctor, see what you can do to change things up. But, I know I'm not doing anything wrong, so and I guess it's just, it's almost like a big experimental journey. You just have to kind of get to know yourself and your new stomach, and it's just going to take time. So although some people say you lose the majority of your weight in the first 6 months and then it stalls, I kind of feel like I'm a little bit opposite right now. But again, everybody's different. I just got my vitamin levels checked a few weeks ago. Everything looked pretty like normal. Only thing was that my iron was really low, so I have to increase my iron for like 2 weeks, and then they're gonna recheck it like at my 6 month post-op appointment to see where they're at again. Um, I do take the ProCare like multivitamin that has the 45 milligrams of iron, and I've always been very, very low in iron, like even before surgery. I've always had issues with it. It's either like way up or way down. So it wasn't really something that concerned me, to be honest. And I noticed at the 2 month mark, I started losing a ton of hair. Um, my hair loss does not come like in the shower. It doesn't show up like if I'm just like doing this, like I'm fine. But when I brush my hair, it's just like my hairbrush is just covered every time. I take biotin, I take collagen, I up my protein. It's just part of the surgery, you know? It's nothing you're doing wrong. Again, same thing. It's like it's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just it's part of it, and I knew it was going to happen. I didn't expect it that quickly, but you know, thankfully my hair is pretty thick, so my hairdresser was like, "Don't even sweat about it. Like, you're gonna be fine. You got plenty to work with." So although I don't like that it just sheds so much because I hate shedding, but it is what it is. So I've noticed that. And two last things I want to talk about quickly. So the first one is that I got my first menstrual cycle since surgery. I have always been a little irregular, so, you know, I was actually even kind of surprised to get it. And it was so painful, guys. Like, even, I've never had it that bad. Yeah, I was like hunched over with a heating pad at all times. I normally take ibuprofen for like my menstrual cycles when I get cramps, but I can't do that anymore. So I was just kind of like waiting it out. It was probably bad for like the first 2 to 3 days, and then it just kind of like was normal after that, and I didn't really have much like um like pain or anything like that with it. But I did have a ton of cravings. Like, I know like they talk about that, like just in general, as far as like you're a girl, you have your menstrual cycle, like you see the whole like, oh, she wants chocolate and all that. I've never really experienced that like prior to this, and I just wanted everything. So that was not easy to get through, but I worked through it. I did have some ice cream. I had whatever I wanted. I didn't hold myself back, but I was very mindful of portion sizes. So, you know, instead of having a whole tub like I used to, I maybe only had 2 bites and I was fine. I still ate healthy. Like, it wasn't like I completely screwed up my diet or anything, but, you know, I wasn't going to be miserable just because, you know, oh my gosh, I can't eat ice cream anymore. I don't know. I guess there's just like this whole, like, thing I get asked the most is like, what can't you eat? And I'm like, well, nothing's really off limits. Like, I can eat what I want, but I just obviously don't eat as much anymore, and certain foods maybe react different with me. So, like, I've noticed anything fried, it doesn't matter what it is. It could seriously be a piece of fried zucchini, it could be a french fry. I get like horrible acid reflux, and that's the only thing that I've noticed so far. Haven't really had any issues with any other food, thankfully, but I definitely had some like really bad acid reflux with fried foods, and like my chest hurt so bad. I was like, oh my god, am I having a heart attack? Like, I don't know. I guess I just like freaked myself out. And the last thing I want to talk about, because I'll do like all of that whole like, you know, what people assume about weight loss surgery, things like that. Like, I'm going to make a whole separate video over that. But the other thing I noticed, and unfortunately have had a lot of complications with, is constipation. I am going to make kind of a separate video on this, or at least I think I am. I don't know. Maybe I'll just include this now because it's already at the end. But I know it's TMI, but it was terrible. And I kind of talked about it a little bit in like my 1 month post-op video, but it was bad. Still is. I'm actually still struggling with it. I was to the point where, like, I was bleeding, and I just, like, there would be days where, like, I'd go 3 days, four sometimes, without anything, and then, it was just, like, impossible. And then, of course, my doctors are like, I called my surgeon's office, and they're like, well, just don't, like, force anything out. Like, don't force it. And I'm like, yeah, but I need to go to the bathroom, but I can't get it out. Like, again, I know that's TMI, but I'm trying to be honest. And I made an appointment with my primary care. She started giving me Senna, which I actually found out you can buy that over the counter. But I've been taking that, and that helped pretty much, like, instantly. It is, like, a mild laxative, so go figure, but she started having me take that. Unfortunately, I did notice it gave me a ton of cramps. I'd take it at night. It would definitely help keep me regular, but I got a ton of cramps during the day at work. Like, I was always in the bathroom, and I was like, look, I can't do this. Like, I'm sorry. So she kind of, like, tweaked it around. Now I'm not on it, like, every day, just kind of more of an as needed, but it was really bad. And she had me on, like, all sorts of stool softeners, and I mean, just everything and anything you could think of. And I don't know, it was probably the worst thing I've experienced, like, in regards to my surgery. Like, I haven't had any other complications for the most part, like, knock on wood, so to speak, but that's been kind of, like, what I've really been going through the worst. And it's kind of getting better. It is. I've also noticed prune juice. I think it tastes disgusting. It is, like, the worst thing to me ever. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But it definitely gets things going if you're looking for a more, like, natural route. But yeah, I definitely struggled with that. Again, still do. She did do a bunch of tests, and thankfully everything came back negative. Like, I didn't have a hernia or anything like that, so she wasn't worried about, like, anything medical. She just was like, look, you're probably just overstraining yourself, and it's literally causing it to tear, like, every single time. So it was at least reassuring that it wasn't anything, like, bad, that is, or at least that we haven't found out, so that's good. But yeah, like, that's pretty much the majority of, kind of where I'm at in my journey right now. I just started to incorporate, like, weightlifting, so that's been fun, and I'm definitely pushing myself a lot harder, and I'm just honestly looking forward to see where these next, like, 3 months bring me. I have a vacation coming up in, like, late October, so I'm excited to hopefully take a bunch of pictures and, like, finally just feel good about how I look. And it's not that I can't, like, I take pictures, I do, I swear by measurements, pictures, you name it. But so, like, I'm not ashamed to take them. I just, it's one of those, like, you take the picture and you're like, man, I just hate how I look. Like, I'm just upset with myself. So I don't, like, want it to sound like I'm superficial and I'm like, I can't take a picture unless, like, I'm skinny, because that's not what this is about for me. I'm doing this to be healthy. I'm doing this so I can live a long life and have children someday. Like, this has nothing to, honestly, like, the smallest piece of this is my appearance. And I honestly mean that, because as much as, yes, I'm looking forward to feeling confident, like, my health is the main priority for me. And yeah, I mean, I have my appointment coming up. We had to kind of, like, shift things because some of my nurses weren't available, so I actually don't have my three month post-op appointment with my surgeon's office until my 4 month. It's actually literally, like, on my 4 month mark. But I'll be meeting with them next month, so I'm curious to kind of see where their thoughts are and where they think things are going, like, how they think I'm doing, and, to kind of hear their take on what they feel, about my weight loss so far. And I don't know, it's hard because I just want people to be proud of what I've done and have accomplished, and I'm proud of myself. But I'm also like, I hope that everybody else feels the same, because, like, I want to make them proud, and I don't want them to be like, ooh, well, you should probably be a little bit more at this point. Like, you know, I don't know. I guess that's just like a concern of mine, but we'll definitely see how that goes. I may switch this to like an every month update. I don't know yet because not much really changed. I mean, I talked about a ton obviously in the video, but not much has really like changed significantly. So I feel like, you know, there are things along the way, but they're just kind of minor things that I just kind of wrote down to talk about what I've gone through. But I don't know, if you guys are interested in more like monthly updates, let me know. I can definitely look into seeing if I can, you know, get around to filming that more. I post a ton on my Instagram, so definitely check that out. And I post there like all the time. And I would love to get to know you all as always. I hope you have a great week. And I look forward to my next update with you guys and just kind of keeping you posted on where I'm at and what's changed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And hopefully I will get around to filming some new videos as well with kind of some some other topics for you guys, and so I can like go into more detail with that. So I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you guys in my next video.